Hi Minna, this is the Mythomat with another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. We have started yesterday, the 9th anniversary here in Dokkan in Global. So I decided that today, because as you might know, tomorrow morning we will have the banner. It will obviously depend on your time zone. For me, it will be on the morning. I am in London time zone. And as you might know, so we have started the 9th anniversary, and the two main units that we will see on the part 1 of this 9th anniversary will be LR Physical Carnival Gogeta, and we will also have the Dokkan Fest exclusive will be LR AGL Broly. So I decided to do two videos talking a little bit about them. I'm not a big fan of doing one versus the other, although it is very much on point in terms of the history of the movie, because obviously they fight against each other. My son will tell you that Broly won the fight, although I think it is pretty clear that Gogeta won, but okay, this is debatable. So what I want with this video is talking with you guys a little bit about my experience. As you might know, if you watch my video, I did a lot of videos during the 9th anniversary on JP, where I use mostly this guy, this LR Physical Carnival Gogeta at 55%. As you know, my goal is always to show you guys the unit at 55%. So today on this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience, about what I think about the card. Obviously, that the decision to summon or not is entirely yours. It has nothing to do with my experience. It has to do with your experience, your box, how many stones do you have. So there's a lot of factors you should consider if you are going to summon or not. My goal here is only to talk a little bit about the unit, to have some fun talking about the unit. Obviously, when we are doing a review of a unit, it's very challenging not to enter into making some comparison to other unit, but sometimes it's very difficult to do so. Why? Because the game is always evolving, and obviously when you are doing a review of a unit, for example right now, it is not the same thing as doing a review last year at the same times, where the landscape of the game was very different. We didn't have a lot of the events that we will be getting during the 9th anniversary, mainly Supreme Battle, Spectacles. Those battles are very tough, very interesting. Mina, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you do, please leave like and subscribe to the channel, as we are trying to reach 200 subs until the end of the year. And so let me start talking about the leadership of LR Carnival Gogeta. So when we talk about the leadership, as you know, he is a 200% leader and key plus 3 of the movie hero category. So this is a category that has some very good units. We could see, obviously, for example, this guy should be for a super easy A pretty soon. Let's hope it is. Then you have those guys that came last year. I think they are still a very interesting unit, although a lot more difficult to use them on the more recent events. I really like this guy that got his Easy A during last anniversary. Let me remind you that those guys will be getting, I think we reckon they will be getting their Easy A next year, at the start of the year, during the 10th anniversary. You have this guy that came recently also to Global. I still use this guy quite often. I think his dodge is very powerful. You have the best unit in the game by far, which is Beast Gohan. It's part of the category at 200%. This guy can be useful in some event. Those guys, I reckon, are due to some Easy A in the near future. I hope. You still have this guy, which is still one of the best unit in the game, although obviously no longer a top 10 unit, but still a very good unit. You have the Gammas that will be the part 2 Carnival unit of the anniversary. You have also Ultimate Gohan, that came a lot better recently, with a lot of new units that can be used next to him, although they are not on movie heroes. For example, LR Carnival, LR Ultimate Gohan, the edgy old one. And so as you can see, although this category has some good unit, in my opinion it's a little bit short. We can reckon that in the future, in the near future, we will be receiving a lot of more units from this category, but in my opinion it is not as big as other categories. That's why I will give the evaluation of 3. By the way, I didn't explain my evaluation. Normally I evaluate each of the parameters that I want to do on the review from 1 to 4. 1 will be bad, 2 will be like partially good, 3 will be good, and 4 will be very, very, very good, so best in class, those kind of things. So normally the review that I do on the unit will be talking about leadership, then the animations of the card art itself, how powerful they are on the offensive, how powerful they have on the defensive aspect of the game. Then I will talk a little bit about the overall performance and utility of the units. Then I will talk about the numbers of teams. I think that the more teams a unit is on, the better. And then I will talk a little bit about my opinion about how good they are in terms of the future proof. And obviously at the end I will give you an average. Not all these dimensions are evaluated with the same weight. Some of them I do more importance. For example, I do a lot of importance for the animation, for the defensive power, for the overall performance and utility. You can have different things that you do importance, but like I said, please guys, this is just for me an opportunity to talk a little bit about the unit itself. So having said that, like I mentioned, in my opinion this leadership is very good, but not the best in the game by far. So you can build very good teams with a very, very good unit, namely from the 9th anniversary, like Beast Gohan, for example. So you can have a lot of fun with this unit. Most of the unit I would use would be obviously LR Gogeta. Then you could use, like I mentioned, LR Beast Gohan. You can use God Goku. The physical unit is one of the units I still use. In some events you can use this guy, as the revival can be very, very effective. I'm talking about Birdku. You can use obviously Piccolo. You can use the 3 Science. So there's a lot of units that you could use. You could still use in some event. You can use the 7th anniversary God Duo. And so you have some solution you can use to beat most of the events. I reckon I beat almost every event without using items, except, if I'm not mistaken, I was not able to beat Cellmax 2. If I'm not mistaken, you will see this is one of the toughest fight, in my opinion, the toughest fight in the game. So after the leadership, I will be talking a little bit about the animation. I'm going to show you their animation. This is the video that at the time we had during the 9th anniversary on JP. Let me show you his animations.
ついてこれるかな。
Okay, Minna. So I really like the animation of Gogeta. In my opinion, they are very, very good. As a very premium unit, they have a lot of animation. So you can see the 18 and the 12 key while they are on Super Saiyan form. But I mean, it's Gogeta, but as you know, it is Goku and Vegeta fused. That's why sometimes I will say they. These animation, in my opinion, are very, very good. One of the problem I have with the game is that you cannot choose at which speed you can have the animation of each character. In my opinion, I would use their animation at 1 time speed and not 2 times speed. This is their dodge, their counter, I mean. A very, very cool animation, I really like. The transformation is not, in my opinion, as good as other animation they have on the kit. But for example, this is the 12 key while they are on blue form. It's very, very good. You will see that a lot of times. I will explain you why. And then we have this animation, which is the 18 key. Now first, this is the active skill that you can have while you will do some damage, some pretty good damage, and then at that point, every attack that the unit will be doing on that turn will be pointed towards Gogeta, and he will dodge all of them. There's only a small catch, but I will talk a little bit about that while I will be talking about the unit kits. And then this animation, the 18 key Dokkan original, as this is not on the movie, and very, very cool. I can tell you that it's a lot different to see that at 1 time speed. I think in that case it was the correct speed to be used, but as you know, because we normally use it at 2 times speed, but it is what it is. Okay, so in terms of the animation, I will give that unit a 4. I think it is one of the best animation in the game, so this is like the top tier animation in the game. Then talking a little bit about the card art. So the card art, in my opinion, is also very, very, very good. So as you can see here, the card art is really, really good. LR usually are the best card art in the game, and this one is with no exception. So you can see him, and you can see the blue form on the back on this part of the animation. Then we can see the sky ripping into a different dimension when he transformed into blue Gogeta. This is very, very good. And then while they are transformed in blue Gogeta, it is very, very good also. I really like this card art. It's very, very cool. So in terms of the card art, I will also give this unit a 4. Top tier units in terms of their card art. Talking a little bit, I wanted to talk a little bit about their offensive and defensive power, but before I do, before I give you my evaluation, I will be talking about the kits. So first of all, while we are on Super Saiyan form, as you know, we will have 2 forms. So the 18 key will be raising defense. That's a stack of 30%, very important. It is very important that you have your 18 key as much as you can before you transform. He will greatly raise his attack for 1 turn and will cause mega colossal damage to the enemy. And then in terms of the kit, you will have key +2, attack and defense plus 140 and 54%. Attack will be effective against all type. As you know, this is not as good as having crit, but it is pretty good. So I think you shouldn't give this guy, I will talk a little bit about the build that I think you should use on this guy. I don't think it should be crit. Then you will have an additional attack of 100 and defense of 100% when launching a super attack. As you know, this will not just be an addition, but will be multiplicative buff. This is very good. Then very good also, you will have a guard against all attack for 3 turns, which is not normally what you need to transform. So this will be on his first appearance, and then if you keep him on rotation, which I think you shouldn't, but I will talk a little bit about that. But if you keep him on rotation, if you have to keep him on rotation, then you will have guard in that first turn and the turn after. Then he will have as very good those guys, those LR, as you know, they are very key hungry because they want to reach the 18 key, and this guy is no exception. But he has a very good key solution. For example, he will have key +1 per type key sphere obtained, so it will give you, like you know, 2 key, the normal one and the extra one that you will have here. So it is very good. And if you will in your path have a rainbow key sphere, it will be key +2, so it will be key, at the end you will have key 3. And very important in this unit, in my opinion, one of the aspects that will give him a lot of utility in the future, namely he will randomly change a non-physical key sphere into a rainbow key sphere, which is very good. Although because he needs them, he will launch an additional, so a guaranteed additional that have a great chance, 70% chance to be a super attack. That's fantastic. And if you have a rainbow key sphere, at least one, then he will launch an additional super attack, a 12 key. So most of the time you will have 3 super attack, even 4. As very important, you will have a lot of chance to proc your additional, as if you have a rainbow key sphere, you will have at least, most of the time you will have 3 super attack when you have the chance to proc your additional. It is very common, like you know, I have him at 55%. I think I have only 7, which 7 on the additional, and most of the time I will reach those 4 super attack. In terms of the active skill, so he will transform from 4th turn since appearing. It is a little bit better than the transforming condition of Broly, in my opinion. So what I do, every time it is possible, most of the time, let's say for example he will come the first time on turn 1, I will float him, and the next time he will appear, you will be able to transform with him, which I think is important to do so. You will see why once he's transformed is very good. So this is him at when he is Super Saiyan, and then when he transforms into Blue Gogeta, even better. So at that point the 18 key will massively, that's 100% raise of attack for 4 turns. So at that point that's very good, cause mega colossal damage to the enemy. And his 12 key will greatly raise, that's 50% of attack and defense for 1 turn, and cause colossal damage to the enemy. At that point he will recover for 4 turns. So if you keep him on rotation, that's 2 times. He will recover 54% HP. This is very good. In some battles, you will need that recovery of 54% of HP. At that point, his attack will increase. He will have attack and defense plus 200%, key plus 3. He will keep the attack effective against all type. Once again, I don't think you will need crit, and you will see why. He will have an additional 100% of defense and attack when launching a super attack. Very good. He will get key plus 2 per key sphere obtained, either rainbow or normal. So once again, you will not struggle for key. And he will continue to randomly change non-physical key spheres into rainbow key spheres. Very good. He will launch an additional super attack, and he will launch 2 additional super attack, or 1 more if you like that, if you will have a rainbow key sphere, which as he changed a non-physical key sphere into rainbow key sphere, it is very easy. I would say you would have to work your way to not get those 2 super attacks, so that's very good. You will have a great chance to evade enemy attack, great chance, that's 70%. And also very important, he will gain critical hit plus 20% per attack evade. That's very important. So that would mean that if you do 4 dodge 5 dodge, I mean, you will have 100% crit. That's why I don't think you should give crit to this unit. And he will also have a very cool animation where he will he will have the great chance to nullify Ki Blast super attack, which is that are very common in the game. That's very good, and will counter with tremendous power. This is very cool effect, and you will have 70% chance to have that. I saw this a lot of times doing his usage, so it is very good. So after you transform with an active skill, you will have a new active skill. At that point, you will do temporarily massively raise attack and cause ultimate damage. But the more important part of this is that for one turn, so by the way, you can use this exactly the turn after he will transform into blue Gogeta. So let's say, for example, like I mentioned, you will have him on turn 1, you can float him. On turn 4 you can transform, and then on turn 6 you could use this active skill. This active skill is very powerful, namely because of this effect, because for one turn the enemy will focus their attack on this character and he will dodge all the attacks. So this is very powerful. This is a turn where your rotation will be safe, as all the attack will be pointed towards Gogeta, and he will dodge all of them. And by the way, this is very important also for that crit chance, because if you have, for example, 5 attacks on that turn, you will dodge, not only you will dodge all of them, but then also you will have from that point on. So this critical chance is not on the turn, it's for the battle at that moment, and so after that all the attacks will be crit, and so at that point he will be starting doing a lot of damage. There's only a small catch on this, is that if we are talking about AoEs, for example, you have some units that will do AoEs attack, and the AoEs attack will not be all pointed towards Gogeta. They will still be pointed towards other unit. I think there's a couple of videos where I forgot about that and I died because of that reason. So this is their kit, in my opinion, a very good kit. They are good, let's say good when they are in this form, but obviously they are very good, they are very powerful once you transform into blue and once you use the active skill. So this is really where this unit will shine. I will give them, in terms of their offensive power, I will give them a 4. They are, you will see, very good number, and as I have mentioned, in both situation, in both form, you will see a lot of additionals. You will see, and this is really cool to see, you will have a lot of additionals, so they do damage. This unit is very good in terms of the offense, so that's why I give 4. In terms of the defensive power, it was very difficult to me to decide what to give him, because he has this very cool ability with the active skill. When you can use this, this is really nice. As you see here, we have a 70% chance to dodge after that, and while you do the transformation, which is obviously very good. But let me tell you that sometimes, namely on this form, you can get caught up with some of the strongest unit. So I would say this is maybe the part of the card that I think is less powerful than a lot of other unit that will be on the top 5. You will have during the 9th anniversary. I would say that unfortunately, because of some very good EZA, this is not unfortunate, but this is unfortunate for Gogeta, I'm not sure that Gogeta will be on the top 5. And in my opinion, one of the biggest problem is exactly that, their defense while on this form. I died a couple of times in this form. After you do the super attacks, because you will have this raise of defense with the 18 key, and you will have greatly raised attack and defense for one turn, normally you should be okay, although you can be caught up with some of the more damaging unit in the game. You will have, I think that at 55%, once you do your super attack, you will have your defense around 1 million something, and as you know, it is good for normals, but sometimes some supers will kill you. That's why I will only give this guy a 2 in terms of his defense. But overall, the overall performance, and namely the utility, and a lot has to do of that active skill. This active skill is very, very, very good. You will win a lot of battles because of this active skill. And so, in my opinion, overall, the overall performance is a 4. I really, really like this unit. I think it is very fun to use, by the way. That's why also I give it in the overall performance and utility. I'm also thinking about how fun the unit it is, and you have some strategy when to transform, when to float out, when to use the active skill, and it is very, very good. I really like this unit, so it is a lot of fun. So then, in terms of the teams, you have they are on 11 teams, with, I think it's good. You will have some units that are on a lot more team than these guys. So I will give the unit a 3 in terms of the numbers of teams, because we have 11 teams. And I think that 11 team is quite good, and on top of that there will be a unit you will want to use in almost all of them, so that's also very good. So I give that a 3. Finally, in terms of how future-proof this unit is, in my opinion, it is a 4. I think that this unit will be very, very useful in a lot of time. We will see how long. We will see about if we have another power creep on the 10th anniversary, for example. But this unit has on his side the dodge, the active skill, when you will have 100% dodge, and on top of that he will be able to change non-physical key into rainbow, which I think it's a very, very good ability. It do a lot of attack. Like I mentioned, defense might be a little bit of a problem, namely on shorter event, and as you know, we had some short events recently. For example, even against Kid Buu in the Red Zone Majin Buu saga. It is quite difficult for him, because sometimes you will maybe not see the transformation, although once you do, it is interesting that he can dodge and help the team. But I think that this guy will have a pretty good future in the game. So if you add up everything, so like I mentioned, leadership 3, animation 4, card art 4, offensive power 4, defensive power 2, overall performance, agility and fun 4, number of team 3, future proof 4. That will give you a 3.5, which would give you, if you transform that into a percentage, that will give you 86%. So that's very, very good. So this guy is very, very good. Don't let anyone tell you differently. I really like this unit, and I think he is very, very good. Okay, so Minna, this will be it for this video, for this review of Gogeta. I hope that this helps you understand a little bit more about the unit. That will help you decide if you want to summon for him, or maybe you wait to use coins to have him on the future. That's also a possibility. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That will be very, very much appreciated, and I will see you all in the next one.